All right. We've got beers. We've got backup beers.
I believe.
You have some weird stuff over here.
Very good.
I don't know what that is.
It's a surprise beer.
Ooh, I got that too. That's fun.
There you go.
Um,
So it's in here for a while.
you have an itinerary? Because I didn't have any notes.
Yeah.
Do you have MTN do?
No, but we're definitely going to bring it up in a second.
In my old Kentucky home. Kentucky.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Kentucky Commons Radio Hour. We have a special guest with us in the studio this week. It is Rob from Robb Beer Talk on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube,
all the social
all the
media.
above.
Yeah.
Except TikTok.
Yeah, we're gonna try. The whole reason we've got you here is to try to convince you to start a TikTok. We'll get there in time.
Show me the way, man.
But of course, as always, I'm John Ronayne, Michael Muller, David Satterley, my partners in life. I've seen you guys like every day this week, and
I hate it.
it's getting weird.
See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow, man. Yeah, see you tomorrow too.
We're the Louisville Ale Trail. Our job is to talk about all things beer for your, hopefully, entertainment and enjoyment. What are we talking about this week? Is that a good segue?
Can we just do that over?
What was wrong with that?
What was wrong with that?
What was wrong with that?
What's wrong with that?
No, anyway, so in addition to the podcast, we also have a Patreon. Please check that out if you'd like to, throw us a few bucks per month if you like the content. You can also get us on video that way, so you can kind of see us on the video that way.
They're all pretty beautiful.
Yeah, patreon.com/Kentucky Commons. Also, if you're a business or maybe a brewery, maybe you have something going on that you really want people to know about, we have a couple options for you. One, you can sponsor an episode, Happy to share those rates with you.
We're cheap.
Yeah, we're pretty cheap. If you also want to have us talk about your beer, just drop some beer off and we'll probably talk about it, like we'll do here in a little bit. So, but we have Robb Lee here today. Rob, thanks for coming.
Glad to be here. I don't think I've ever been on a podcast.
Never?
This hardly counts.
They didn't have podcasts when I was a kid, so
No,
yeah.
but I mean,
They just had radio.
You do have the voice for radio.
I was gonna say no.
Yeah.
Well,
I have a face for radio and a voice for newspapers. What I was told. I don't know. Whatever.
That's a good one. But no, so I mean, you do a lot of videography around town with beer, with breweries,
And your narration is always the best part.
It's great. That's kind
Sometimes
of
I listen to it while I'm falling asleep. It's just
That's-
soothing.
It's like
soothing.
what does they call it? It's
Feel a warm
ethereal.
blanket.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is your turn to just monologue out.
Zoom out into the stratosphere. I don't know what I can monologue. I was asking my wife, what do I have to talk about? And she said, well, probably nothing. I mean, maybe they'll have something for you.
We'll just get you to read out of Brewing Classic
Well-
Styles for like an ASMR special podcast.
All right.
We could have had you last week to read the terms and conditions of MTN do.
Yeah, MTN Do.
Would have been great.
I don't even know what that is.
It's Mountain Dew's new branded hard Mountain Dew.
Oh, have you had it?
No, we're trying to get
We're trying to get
some. Yeah. We thought you might have some. That's why we invited you on. But
Well, I'm going to be in Bowling Green tomorrow, so maybe I can drive down to Tennessee.
Tennessee, they have it. That's the closest place.
If I get finished with work, I'll try to remember to do it.
So, Rob,
I'm
like I
very
said, one
curious.
thing that we really wanted to have you on about is that, if you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
Old, 57.
Okay, so 2 questions here. Answer them either way you want. 1, how'd you get into photography and videography? And 2, how'd you get into the craft beer space?
I guess I kind of fell into photography because I had this idea, that I would go out and hike and do all this cool stuff and take all these great photos. Turned out I wasn't that good of a photographer and I didn't hike that much. So that kind of fell through.
Those seem to be intertwined.
Yeah. I kind of failed, all around. And I enjoyed, though, going out around town and just, there's a lot of stuff in town to take pictures of. And I've just enjoyed doing that. I should do it more, but I don't. And I've just always enjoyed photography. I guess the thing I like about it is, there's always a picture anywhere you go.
Yeah.
And you just kind of have to have the eye to
Mhm.
see it, which I don't, but my daughter does. And so we'll go somewhere and take photos. Hers will look great. Mine look like shit. And so I just go back then, and kind of copy what she did. But that's kind of how I got into photography. And then videography is just sort of an extension of that. I always wanted to be creative, I guess is what I should say, and that's a way to exercise some creativity. And it really takes a lot of practice. I was surprised. I thought you just, get your phone out and just start.
Point and shoot.
Yeah. But to make anything decent or that kind of flows, it's hard. So I just got into it as sort of an extension of photography.
And what about the craft beer space?
I'm trying to think how I got into craft beer, like kind of heavy. I remember the first time I moved to Louisville, and I asked him where the best chicken was.
Have you moved to Louisville multiple times?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I have.
Okay. Phrasing, but I just wanted to be clear on that.
Years ago, and then I moved again back in 2009. Okay. But he invited me to go to BBC in St. Matthews. We were going to go there to get chicken wings. I'd never heard of it. I said, "What is that?" He goes, "Well, they make their own beer." And I was like, they can't buy Miller Lite. I mean, what? Why do they make their own beer? I mean, I just didn't know anything about it.
Yeah.
And so I kind of got into some of their different beers there. And I was a warthog. I guess I hung out there for about 20 years.
BBC was one of those places. I can imagine they had that conversation with people. You guys go, what? You got any actual beer on tap?
Mm-hmm.
Many times, but they were huge for converting so many people. We used to go there all the time.
Yeah.
Drink beer into the craft beer world, and you're like, start out with blonde ales, and then some bartender convinces you to try a pale ale and then try an IPA. Like, shout outs to BBC for being the OG.
It brought me along. I mean, I guess it did a lot of people.
Yeah,
so.
well, me too. Yeah,
I think even though it probably predates myself and Moeller, I mean, it's unintentionally or maybe very intentionally like the biggest precursor to craft beer in Louisville.
Yeah,
was it the first brewery?
It's probably
first in Kentucky. Post-Prohibition?
That sounds about right to me, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because Browning's was after them, I think.
Yes, for sure.
Cumberland certainly was.
Cumberland was 2000.
2001. So I can't think of anybody that would have been, around.
Who were they? Were there 91 or 92?
That sounds right. You have Kevin Gibson's book around here somewhere, but...
So yeah, I mean,
right.
it's definitely a Louisville institution that did bring a lot of people into the craft beer fold,
and they were kind of in that first wave. Like they were getting started around the same time as like Sierra Nevada was getting big, and like Sam Adams was really starting to catch on. So in the grand scheme of things, they kind of stayed more local or whatnot.
And it's such a perfect name. I mean, we've been saying BBC, but it's Bluegrass Brewing Company, which is just perfect for the.
It's good that you clarified that.
Yeah.
Everybody should know.
Everybody should know that's what we're talking
BBC.
about.
It really got me opened up a whole new world for
me.
Yeah.
Okay, so how did you start Robb's Beer Talk then specifically?
I just wanted to do something kind of creative and fun, and the Beer Talk channel I guess it kind of never really morphed into what I wanted it to. My whole idea was to do something that I'd like to see. I go on YouTube and I'm like, oh, that's cool. I'd like to see that. And I just never kind of got there. I did some.
Did.
Well, it's all dependent.
Okay, so I once watched, and you're an old man.
Established, right? I admitted to
he
that.
Makes fun of me.
I watched a 12-minute video of you driving around the city trying to find a 40.
Yeah, I remember that. That was epic.
Completely forgot about that one.
That's epic. That's so stupid. You can't find a 40 in Middletown.
well,
you're in the right neighborhood now. I'll tell you that.
You qualified it with Middletown, but
but that's wrong. This is
there's a
2022
an audience,
a turkey in every oven, a 40 in every corner gas station.
I like 40s. I don't know if you guys don't.
Do you like Old English at all?
That's my favorite.
Old English is fantastic.
We won a blind taste test of cheap grocery store beers a few weeks ago.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
They won. Well, very cool. Very, you're on YouTube, you're on Facebook. I know you share all the links on everything.
Yeah, I have all this.
Yeah, you have all the stuff. But the thing that I want to really talk about though is TikTok, because I feel like you could talk about beer on TikTok. Why don't you?
I know about it. I'm not saying I never heard of TikTok. I know about it, but I don't really know anything as far as how long it is or I know nothing about it.
When I first brought it up to you a few days ago, your response was, I thought it was for kids.
Yeah, that's true.
It is.
Like David
It's for kids.
See?
You're too old.
It's for the Chinese government.
Yeah,
okay?
that's true.
That's a really making content.
Apparently in China, like all the TikToks are like how to learn to be an electrician. Like it's all educational. It's like how to memorize the solar system. Like they just put all the science stuff in there too.
Well, the couple
I don't know if that's true or not, but I heard
goals of TikTok are like educate, entertain, or
No. Yeah. That's not the goals of TikTok.
That's goals of social media. It's entertainment, education.
The goals of social media
selling.
are capture your attention and make money off of your data. And TikTok is the worst.
All right, but so my point is,
So
though,
that's why I didn't know anything about it.
I sent you a link to Steve from 60 Second Bourbon Review. He might be up to 3 minutes now. For context, TikTok changed it from 60 seconds to 3 minutes.
Okay.
So you can go up to 3 minutes. So, I mean, I was just like looking at that. I was like, this needs to exist for Louisville, but for beer. And I will say TikTok, the way their algorithm works is that if you're new to TikTok, they automatically push your content way more than they push content out to people that have been on there for about a year. So you have an opportunity to go viral, quote unquote, really fast. And if it sticks and lands, then it's around there for a while.
I will say,
if
your
I can
style,
make good
like,
content,
feels
that would
like
be-
TikTok.
Yeah.
Good content because you're like, it's funny, it's well shot compared to what a lot of people do, and there's usually like a little narrative to it. So
No, like
even though I just bash TikTok,
it
I
is-
just think it's evil. I think you can make some bread.
it is quite it's quite entertaining for what you do in the time span that you can do it. And I think it's something to consider. Let's get on the TikTok. And
Do you know how to twerk?
Don't know.
or do other
It's not about
dances?
that. It's not
No,
about
I
that.
did see though a bunch of dance like
It's
when
all
the
just
link
dancing.
you sent me, and it's like all these people. The Jump Rope Sisters, I think, was one I watched, or maybe that was on YouTube. I don't know.
Something to consider. That's all I'm saying. So, talking about beer, though, we always like to open up the show with kind of something to drink and talk about. So, David, what are we drinking today?
Thanks for handing me that church key because I was really going to try and do it on John's overalls there.
There is a bottle open right here if you ever need one.
Well, I didn't have it.
I'll melt one of this thing too.
This is a side project beer called
nice.
Ruche. They do it a couple different ways. But this is an oak-aged, Missouri oak-aged, which side project really likes to harp on. Wild ale aged with honey in the oak barrels. So it'd be a little sweet, a little sour.
Sounds fantastic.
Yep. They do a pretty good job.
What's it called?
La Ruche.
I think that
La
was
Ruche.
the Ruche.
La Ruche. La Ruche is on fire.
The
All
Roots.
right, let's try this one.
Cheers.
I had French in college, but I made an F. So cheers.
F for French.
Cheers.
Yeah, no, just F for dumbass. You don't know French.
Partly beer.
Yeah.
So we'll do 10-second tasting notes because that's not good content for a podcast. But you really get the oak and you really get the honey in the nose.
Yeah.
A little bit of, is it sour? I'm assuming they put
It's
some
a
kind of
wild ale.
bugs in there. Yeah,
No, it's a
a
wild
little bit
ale.
of that funk coming through.
Oh, a lot of fun.
Yeah, Saison, honey,
That's delicious.
Missouri.
It's very good.
The honey is right there in the end there,
Yeah.
too.
Not sweet though. It's just dry, crispy, funky, bright, barrely. Good job, Side
We've been
Project,
sitting on this
as
bottle
always.
for a while.
Yeah.
I feel like it's been in the beer fridge here for a minute.
I've had it since, I guess, October. They don't go bad because they're already sour. So
Yeah,
True.
Very good.
yeah, it's very good.
Love the dryness. Low ABV too. Like you can take this down by yourself. I don't super recommend it, but they pride themselves on like the microflora and all that, and their house yeast and the Missouri oak. We just get some like that tannic
Yeah,
properties, but good stuff.
it's fun to have Side Project like not too far away from us too. We're getting more and more of the like kind of wild, nice bottles, like well finished, sometimes finished with some funk stuff coming into Louisville, and even a lot of stuff that's like actually aging in breweries now that'll be coming out like over the next few months and stuff. Hopefully,
Rob, is this the kind of stuff that you usually like to drink, or what do you like?
That's probably one of my problems with beers. I don't really have anything that I don't like.
yeah,
Uh,
I feel you.
Okay, so I call that an equal opportunity drinker.
Yeah, I
Yes.
really.
Yeah. And people always ask, they're like, what's your favorite beer drink? What has the best in town? I'm like, what do you want out of this experience?
Yeah, exactly.
So, do you want to go sit on a patio? Do you want to have food with your beer? Do you want a food and beer pairing? Do you want the novelty experimental sour?
Right.
Like what do you
Are
want
you a
out of
pastry
it?
boy?
Yeah, what do you want out of it? So that question gets brought up a lot.
The only thing I is because of lactose intolerant, I'm not a milk
okay.
stout person.
Yeah,
And then if they put lactose in maybe some other beers, I don't know,
Sours.
some sours or something,
Yeah.
I don't necessarily do so well with them.
Sure.
We don't have to elaborate on that, but let's just say
That's fair.
yeah, totally.
Well, David mentioned patios a second ago, and it was like 73
It
degrees
was like
here
the
in
day
Louisville.
that gave me hope again.
Yeah, so
So
yeah,
nice
we're
outside.
starting to get into the spring finally. Derby's just right around the corner. people are flocking to breweries and hanging out in patios a little bit more often. So, Rob, do you have a favorite patio brewery in town?
And what makes a great like outdoor beer area?
You know, I was thinking about that, and I always think that Third Turn, because that nice deck that
Oh,
they have
yeah,
out there,
they're
because it's close to my house over in J-Town, is just such a cool place to go. I mean, if somebody came into town, to your point, and they said, we want to stop at a really cool space, certainly Third Turn is a super cool space. And then they have their beers, and then they also have, some guest taps too. So
And you're in downtown J-Town,
the bourbon
so you
bar,
drink a few
too.
beers there, and then you can check out. Yeah, exactly. You can check out next door. You can check out the other little businesses that are down there.
Super unique. Like Third Turn, the being in the old church.
Mhm.
Right?
Yeah.
And
Oh,
then
yeah.
they've, like built it out. And then the back patio was just a little table back patio.
Mhm.
And as they expanded out, the patio just got bigger
Yeah.
and bigger and bigger.
The little area like in between the two old
And now
ass buildings is super cool.
It totally connects all the way through.
yeah, it's
There's
amazing
a
how
whole
big that
nother
deck is.
building on the deck. And it's beautiful.
Very
So creative use of space is like one of the things that I always think is fun about a cool outdoor seating area. They have like different levels and
Yep.
there's like whatever. But then the other thing I always love is just like big, gigantic like tables. Like Fall City just has these just huge wooden tables, like that's under a cool pergola. They've got a little fire pit out there in the winter. Sometimes they'll project movies and stuff on the big walls. Like something to be said too for just like that sprawling like space, or especially when it gets like a lot of people out there. That's just a fun way to drink a beer for me.
Yeah, you can go there not knowing anybody and get a beer, and there's
Yeah.
plenty of space. I don't like to be like crowded
Right.
in,
Yeah.
So there's plenty of space where you can find somewhere to drink,
Yeah.
find somewhere to sit.
So my only issue with Third Turn is just their hours. So I live in Germantown, 20, 25 minutes away.
Mhm.
And I'm going into J-Town, usually fighting traffic when they open up at 4:00 on a weekday, or it's just hard to get to for me. But when I do go there, I always really appreciate the space that I'm in.
Yeah.
Like David said, the church atmosphere of it.
Super homey in there.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
All of our breweries, though, have kind of, you learn over time, but they all kind of have screwy hours that that they're
Everybody's
all
got
doing.
one
So-
time where you're like, oh,
Oh,
yeah.
The baron of that for so many years is just Monday.
yeah.
It's like,
Oh, yeah.
like
Louisville's weird.
you have a total case of the Mondays, and you're like, I should probably grab a pint before I go home. And you're like,
Everything's closed.
and nowhere is open. And there's a couple places that forced the hand on it. I mean, Mile Wide started opening on Mondays.
Thank
But,
God.
yeah.
I mean, like on the 3-day weekends, you want to go
Mhm.
get a beer on
Yeah.
Memorial Day, Labor Day, whatever. We're closed. Oh,
And that's not even just breweries in Louisville. That's a lot of restaurants and
businesses, yeah.
bars.
Yeah,
I mean, I was trying to entertain some guests from New York about a month ago, and they're just like, "Cool, it's Monday night. Where are we going?" I was like, "It's Louisville. Nothing's open."
Yeah.
Nowhere.
Yeah.
Nowhere.
Long John Silver's.
Which is
Very, very
entertaining.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's get to it.
Extra Crispies.
I think a lot of people probably are still just trying to get staffed back up too. So maybe some of these, hopefully, people will start.
No, it's
expanding their
always
hours
been
out
this
more.
way.
Yeah, it's true.
So
It has been.
Third Turn, where else are we going for good patio
I
season
mean,
weather?
Gravely kind of
Yeah,
unspokenly
yeah,
has.
they just have like a huge
When you're talking about multiple altitudes
Yeah.
in a
And views.
patio.
And
Yeah.
views. You go up on that little top deck where the big old shipping container DJ stand or whatever the hell is in that thing.
I mean,
And you just see downtown.
Wholesale like their patio so much that they converted
Yeah.
it to permanent patio space.
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
Wholesale is a great outdoor area.
I would also like to add in 2 Indiana considerations.
One's gotta be
Upland.
Yeah, with that
Upland, Jeffersonville.
I haven't been over there.
Oh, there! I mean,
It's
that old
great.
Buckhead's deck that they have. If you
Yeah.
want a perfect view of
Just
the
go on a nice
skyline,
day.
Mhm.
that's
Mhm.
the one you go to.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then the second one I'd recommend is off the top of my head, Floyd County Brewing Company.
Yeah, they've
With
got that
their
super cool
whole
area.
beer garden space out there, and also if it's a weekend, they might have a show there for you to watch too.
Oh, I didn't
Or
know.
Renaissance
have you been
Festival
there?
going on.
Have you been to Floyd
Yeah,
County?
I've been there, but not only one time to the place in the back, and it was cold, so I didn't
Right.
get the full vibe. you
It's
know?
a huge compound. I also like the smaller patios, like Shippingport. Like it's in there, and like the doors in the front are open sometimes they're not. But you can always go out into the back patio, and it's just like cozy and a couple seats, and just hang out there and grab your food, chili, whatever, and just sit there. And
I want to go to that
Yeah.
place.
Yeah,
We
it's
went in the
totally
winter, and everything. The door was closed,
Mhm.
and so we had to drink inside. But
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Rooftop decks are fun too. We were at Chimera for our Trail Tuesday last Tuesday.
Last
Yeah,
night,
yesterday.
Yeah.
Yesterday.
Last time I saw you guys.
Good time to see you guys.
Atrium too. They have that like elevated, like little back deck. That's a fun place to sit and hang out. And then you got to shout out Mile Wide too. That it's like not really like an outdoor seating area, but when they do open up that little parking lot and have events out there,
Yeah.
that's freaking cool.
They have a backspace too, out the back door.
Yeah, that's right. That's, yep. I forgot about that. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Events at Mile Wide.
I'll throw
awesome
Apocalypse
for
into that
reason.
too. When they just open up stuff in their parking lot, like it's great. So fun. Homebrew brew-ins or stuff with Loggers Club, like the happy hour things. It's great.
It sounds like we have just
So look,
Say everybody.
So
All right,
Everybody's got a good patio.
everybody's got
I mean,
a good
even
patio.
Highwire has some seats. There's the mentioned Highwire reference.
Oh yeah, there's our high wire references.
John Fox has a patio in their
Yeah.
front.
Yep.
They have one in the back too.
They're working
Yeah.
on it. Yeah.
went in the back.
They have 2 patios.
They have 2 patios, maybe
Wow.
even more soon. Who knows? Who knows what they're
And
doing?
eating food outside at Against the Grain when the weather's nice.
Oh, jeez.
All right, so yeah,
It's patio
smokehouse.
season, guys.
and-
This is the Midwest.
I got patio.
spring.
I got vitamin D into my body today,
Yes.
and now my body's like
it
drinking
was
outside.
pretty nice.
It's like
Yeah.
it's 70 degrees for 3 days, and you forget the last 6 months of depression.
Mhm.
So it's spring. We're right around the corner from St. Patrick's Day. Now that it's March, it's like 2 weeks away, 15
fuck that
days
groundhog.
away.
We're going spring.
Yeah, exactly.
He didn't know. He's dead anyway.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, dumbass.
Yeah.
You know, there's a Louisville tradition with Goodwood, who
yeah.
also, kind of a offshoot of Bluegrass Brewing Company there. Longer history. We'll let somebody else talk about that sometime. But they do this big thing called like Blessing of the Keg. Have y'all ever been to that?
Yeah, it's cool.
Blessing of the Barrel?
Yeah, for the parade day thing, right?
Yeah, it's
Don't they parade it down to
O'Shea's.
Bardstown Road? Is it
Yeah,
O'Shea's?
yeah,
Yeah, I think they go from the Goodwood tap room to O'Shea's, I think.
yeah. That sounds right.
And yeah, it's just a fun way to kick off the holiday. You know, it's their bourbon barrel stout, I think 8% or something along those lines. They have, I think his name is Father Fowler, come in and bless
Yeah,
the
they do,
beer.
that's
That's
right.
awesome.
And yeah, it's a fun little kickoff to St. Patrick's Day festivities for Louisville and for Goodwood.
I'm not like a religious person, or I don't really like think much of any of that, but those traditions and those things are so fun, and they're such a good part of the community, and all of the stuff associated with like the Mardi Gras season and like fish fries and Lent and Easter. Like, it's cool. It's great. I love it.
That's a blast. Anybody can have fun there.
Yeah.
And I've been over on Bardstown Road on St. Patrick's Day, and it's just a blast.
It is.
I mean,
It's a wild time. Actually.
everybody's
It's
there.
crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So
There's nothing you don't see.
we
We had some of these cans when we had Uncle Drew on.
Yeah, so this is the other thing. So, we're actually filming today and recording today on Ash Wednesday, the beginning of Lent.
Yep.
And one of the important beers of Lent, when I think about Lent, is Bock beer.
Absolutely.
Do you know why people drink
I
Bock
don't
beer
know.
during Lent? So originally, in olden times and medieval times, monks would do a complete 40-day fast. So not just from like, I'm not going to eat candy for 40 days. No, it's like, I'm not going to eat for 40 days. And one of the ways they did that was through heavy beers.
Heavy beer.
Liquid bread.
Liquid bread,
Yeah.
Bock
Okay.
beers. Because this type of beer specifically had all the nutrients that you needed to sustain yourself for 40 days. I would also assume that they took the Sunday, break from the fast
From
to-
it
to-
For their,
Staining.
yes,
their
yeah.
porridge or whatever.
Yeah, exactly, for their porridge and their salted meat.
Yeah.
So
it's actually that's not sound bad at all.
David, we just poured some. Yeah, cured me. Who knows? David just poured out some Fall City Bock beer. We had it recently, but David, can you talk about that a little bit?
Oh, yeah, a little bit. Not too much, I guess. But this one came out a little earlier in the season than normal. Really, really nice color, amber hue, a little darker.
Yeah.
But lots of like toffee, caramel, roasted
Thank you.
pecans. Really, for like a beer that's only about 6%. I mean, just like drinks so thick, so good.
One thing that's cool about Bock's too, like, this is kind of like traditional, I would call that just like a nice kind of maybe dark Bock or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's Helles Bocks, and then there's Doppelbocks that
Yeah.
are just super, super dark and malty. That would probably be like the quintessential like fasting Lent beer or whatever.
If I
Helles
drink,
Bocks, my box. Like,
if I drank Doppelbocks, and
I was going to keep
fasting,
going. I was going to keep
yeah.
going and just keep talking over you, but anyway, I ran out of box.
I just wish that this Bock beer from Fall City came with a little ornamental goat
Yeah.
like Iyengar
Yeah.
did. Unfortunately,
that.
it has a really just good picture of a goat on it.
And Drew said that was like one of the retro, like that was one of the actual designs of the old Fall City cans.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, and they resurrected it.
Yeah,
It's super cool.
I think they, first time in over 50 years, this beer has been canned in this way, I think.
So if you're in Louisville, maybe we'll also use this as an opportunity to shout out Bockfest. I can't remember the dates on that. I don't know if you guys
It's
can.
March 26th.
You guys are good. Wow.
Was that the goat races?
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
the goat
Exactly.
races, Bockfest on Billy Goat Strut.
That's what Market Street originally was back in the day, where they would do all like the trading and the stock exchanges and whatnot. And
We're buying a goat, and we're naming it John's therapist.
yeah, I'm looking forward to talking to that goat for many hours during.
Is it going to be in
Bockfest.
the goat races?
Perhaps.
You
Yeah.
refer-
If it's feeling up to it.
If it's
Okay.
right. Yeah,
If it's
yeah.
feeling up to it.
Yeah. And it doesn't have to be a winner to win, is what it
Everybody's
it's-
a winner
We
in the
learned
goat
that.
races.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not about
like
external
Validation.
It's about how you feel about yourself on the inside.
Yeah.
It's about how
Anyway,
that goat feels on the inside.
so every year they have the 4-H kids come out, and there's a cool like local kind of farming association associated with that. They bring out all the baby goats, they line them up, and then they like let the kids kind of run with them down the little block and
Do they do goat yoga?
race. I'm sure
That's a
they're-
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a thing.
So shout
anyway,
out to
shout
Fall
out.
City for the Bock beer today. You didn't provide it, but still, shout
Yeah.
out to you all.
Yeah.
You made it, so it's provided.
Yeah, true. John, what's in the beer news?
Well, I try to do some research, but it's all Ukraine. That's like the only thing you can find when you try to find news these days. Yeah, everything is kind of tied up by that. We could talk about a few of like the kind of standout things we've seen. I'm not smart enough to really understand the geopolitics of like the entire
We're not
situation.
trying to dissect the
Wow.
entire
Yeah.
Russia-Ukraine
Listen,
crisis
I don't
right
know
now.
the difference between Charleston and Charlotte.
Right. Yeah,
It's lost
exactly.
on me.
But a lot of the breweries in Ukraine have like been going kind of wild on their social media and like just in life because Russia's invading their country. One of the breweries stopped production and just started making Molotov cocktails out
I
of their
saw
bottles.
that. Yeah,
And
I think you put it on
we'll put
Twitter
links
or
to these
something.
in our like down below, but that was wild.
And then those people asked to do a collab with
Yeah, BrewDog. Let's talk about
The
BrewDog.
people with the hotel for dogs.
That's kind of the brewery though that you want, as somebody that's not going to be politically correct and not
Sure.
going to take a back seat and say, "Well, God, we'll blow some."
Well,
shit out."
they did take a back seat because
somebody who works for them who
yes.
so basically there was a brewery in Ukraine.
It was Pravda.
Pravda, that's right.
Okay.
They were trying to look for people to kind of do some collaboration beers to help raise awareness and raise funding and stuff. Yeah, Michael's got the Twitter thing pulled up. So they sent a message through what looks like Facebook Messenger or Instagram to BrewDog. They slid into their DMs and said, I can read it if you want. Or if you want to read it.
Hello, Yuri here, owner of Pravda Brewery.
No, better accent.
Yeah.
No. Pravda Brewery, Ukraine, proposed to make a online freedom collab beer together. You, via Zoom, at our brewery and use the proceeds for a relief program locally. So he sent that to the official BrewDog account. I think it was from his personal account. And the thing about BrewDog, they've got the blue check mark.
Right.
Their own team isn't looking at that. They're known worldwide. So
that's even probably
they've
a
outsourced.
marketing. Yeah.
They've
intern.
outsourced somebody, not an intern. It's a real person. Come on, let's give these people credit that work in social media agencies. But like,
It's BrewDog, Michael. Anyway.
that's true. They still work. But no, they probably have an agency looking at their customer service. And so they get a response about an hour later. Hey, Yuri, can you please send us an email so we can forward you to the correct department, please? Cheers. Name.
O'Shen.
O'Shen. Yeah.
O'Shen.
And so about an hour and a half later, yes, O'Shen, from Yuri. Let me finish hiding in the cellar between two airstrike alarms and write you the very same sentence by email for your convenience.
Yikes.
So,
But they did say the cardio of going up and down the stairs
yeah.
to the cellar was definitely a bit.
and then BrewDog, in whatever, I don't know what they were trying to do with this. As you can imagine, I can't pass along Facebook messages to the department that will be able to help with this. Thanks. So then Yuri screenshotted all of that, shared it on his personal Facebook, said best regards from the cellar. Good to have one near the brewery. It's the first airstrike alarm of today, hopefully the last. On a good note, adds cardio, walking up and down the stairs. So, BrewDog, who has already had enough issues in recent weeks, that's not a good screenshot to be a part of.
Culture like starts at the top, and that's like very much in line with like BrewDog culture.
I am wondering to me, why can they not help you?
Oh, you should have.
That is good.
This is what I'm saying to you. I go up the stairs, I'm down the stairs. Bomb shelter, this bullshit,
The Ukrainian people that like they're
I don't know if that's Ukrainian
freaking
or not.
impressive.
It's a better accent.
They're like, you see the people with like just cigarettes in their mouth. I think you shared as a clip.
Was
like,
that
Zelensky?
Did you put that on there? That dude was doing that?
Oh, there's a guy with a Marlboro hanging out of his mouth, lit, and they're just like, you're never going to occupy a country where the civilians are willing to just pick up landmines and walk them into the forest.
It's like when you see some Australian guy just grab like a poisonous snake and
or
just toss it.
spider.
Like,
I mean, they're just like, these guys are nuts.
What did Churchill say? Like, you can
take one with you.
You can carry a gun with you.
Yeah.
You can carry one with you.
Yeah.
Just imagine. Every Ukrainian having a gun on them.
The entire,
That was like their first call to action was like, anybody needs a gun, we'll give you one.
Yeah, come and get, what do they say, get an army suit and we'll fight. So,
but for real, it is pretty sad all around. I mean,
we're making light of a very heavy situation.
If you don't laugh about this, like you would
cry.
Exactly.
It's very dark.
You laugh because you're not trying to cry.
Right. And Pravda Brewery was the one that shut down production. To bottle Molotov cocktails. And on Untapped, everybody, when that news hit and started making the rounds, everybody on Untapped was giving it 5 stars and 5 caps.
Amazing. Wow.
You just go down.
Catch that part.
Cool.
No, everybody was. Like, if you go and look up the beer, I don't remember what the specific beer is called. I think it's like Freedom. I don't know. But here's my hope. I hope, the whole BrewDog thing, that was just today, so that's just now making the rounds.
Well, this gives them an opportunity to do the right thing.
I hope that there's an opportunity for everybody to come in and do like a shared recipe collab with proceeds going to the Ukrainian relief in some way.
Yeah, helping to people who have nothing to do with this and are just victims of
terrorism.
Oligarchs. Yeah, exactly. Like those are the people that
So,
find ways to help.
And, Putin, if you're listening to this, man, like, just stop.
Just stop. We have a reason to think that Putin's a listener. Putin, if you're listening, we can also use you on our Patreon.
No, we won't.
we will not accept. Y'all will not accept it. No,
we will not accept Russian oligarch money.
That's one other thing that I'd seen with this too is like people are
people are using Google Translate to say "go fuck yourself" and then translate it to Russian, then DMing Putin on Instagram.
Oh my lord!
Go fuck yourself.
I'm sure he's
over and over again.
What's the rating on this?
On beer?
No, this podcast.
We can talk whatever we want.
Go for it.
So, did you guys see where Pornhub blocked all of Russia?
Yes.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, go fuck yourself. You will not get any.
UPS and FedEx, I think, stopped delivering or stopped like flights in there. There was a few other there were really just good burns against trying to just create enough economic pain that they have to stop. But those that's a good one. So porn always leads the way.
That's like real shit that's going to make action happen.
Right.
Not blushing, not blocking Russian fighters from going into U.S. Air travel. No, it's Pornhub. Look, I'm looking at the Untapped ratings right now. Yeah, exactly. The only reason why this beer has 3.96 stars right now and not 5 is because it is actually a real beer that at some point had real ratings on it. But I can tell you just from a quick skim test over the last 72 hours, literally every single one is 5 stars. And Rob, why don't you take a second and describe this label of the Molotov cocktail beer?
For me, give me 1 second and I will do what I can for you. This is Putin, apparently with his very small penis, sitting on this throne. And apparently there are oil whales and soldiers trying to bastardize this country. This I don't know what the little mouse is. For me, it's not good. I don't know.
It might be
I sent a message to Putin is
no, it's some Russian.
you
dude,
are
sure.
motherfucker. Do you know what?
Yeah, I think
know
you're
what it
right.
is?
I think you're absolutely right.
For me, this
You're
is
a
what I-
rat bastard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
All right, bastard.
You're a rat bastard.
So yeah, man, whew, that's. I mean, I would have. Who would have guessed we'd like live to see this kind of a thing?
This almost looks like the 35K label from Against the Grain.
There's some vibes there. There's some vibes there. Yeah.
Anyway, so again, we're not trying to make light of the situation. It's awful. Hope something comes, positive of, out of this.
And just
in some
stay
way.
safe to everybody
Stay
who's
safe.
in the way. Like, Godspeed and just good luck.
So
I do want to do one more beer thing
Okay,
please.
before we move on. You, Rob, and you, Jonathan, have two beers in front of you, and I would like you to taste them in succession, starting with this first one here, and just let me know your thoughts.
Okay.
Let me know your thoughts.
So these are the same. Do we need to know anything else going in?
Nope.
All right.
Nope.
Just taste.
We'll start.
Blind
We'll start.
taste.
blind tasting.
Not much aroma. A little bit of a light hoppiness. A little bit of a light maltiness. This has got good head retention. This is a little bit more kind of like gold. Actually, they're almost identical in the color.
Rob, what do you got?
Well, John said it all. I mean, I'm trying to think what it tastes like to me. And it's not a lager, but kind of a wheatish something. I'm not sure what it actually is. I didn't taste the second one yet.
I just get that really kind of sharp. It's like almost like a wheat, but I like that little sharp.
They're
That
both lagers.
sharp continental
Okay.
pilsner kind of
Both
flavor.
lagers.
Real grainy, I guess I would say.
Yeah. So this second one is much lighter as far as color. The first one is much gold,
Mhm.
more gold. It's golder. Has
Mhm.
more
Stay
goldness.
golder.
Stay golder, pony boy.
Say golden point. Yeah.
To me, this second one has a little bit more of like a light lemony floral kind of hop aroma, but very subtly.
Got a little bit piercing, kind of like a Pils too.
Mhm.
There's a bite to it, where this one was more. What did you say? Wheaty.
Just that kind of grain husky flavor that I always associate with just like pretty good Pilsner malt. This is fantastic too. These are both like in my wheel. You guys know that these are both some kind of European Czech lagers or something,
yeah.
right?
So just to make a long story short, these two beers, the first one being Pilsner.
They're almost imperceptibly different. Like it's pretty
They're
close.
different. I mean, you
There's
can
some
definitely
differences,
tell
yeah.
there's a little bit heavierness on the first one.
But so Atrium, that since out of the gate has been doing some incredible like traditional style beers, fruited sours, stouts, etc.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of jack of all trades, figuring it out. Hazy's definitely too. Even though like I don't lean too much to that anymore. I guess.
Have you grown up from hazies? Are you too good?
now.
Are you too good for hazies now?
I'll get there. I think I'm just in this like Cro-Magnon stage where I'm just like beer.
You're gonna get into mead
Almost
soon.
evolved. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
And then I'll restart as like a small water bear, microscopically, and
Tardigrade.
40x magnification. But these two beers are Pilsner Urquell,
Mm-hmm.
classic Czech Pilsner, and then also Atrium's Czech Pils.
Wow, really?
Yeah,
I don't know which one is which, but these are both fantastic.
Yeah, Atrium Czech
European
Pils.
lagers.
Which is which? Do you remember?
The second one was the Atrium Czech
Oh,
Pils.
very nice.
Yeah.
Well, that was the one that had a teeny bit more hop aroma to me.
Well, to be fair, it's produced down the road.
Yeah, it's
it
super
didn't
fresh.
come across our
That's right.
entire ocean.
And
But
wasn't in a tankard.
that came from a gas station, like you're a little liquor store.
do not discredit.
All I'm saying is,
Do not discredit gas stations.
I'm saying, well, yeah. I'm pointing your point is well made.
Yeah,
I mean,
this
it's
is still in date. It says July 23rd, 2022.
Yeah,
We're fine.
But
That's
no.
great. Good job, Atrium.
Yeah.
That's one of the hardest styles to crack, like to make it that
Yeah.
good. It's very good.
incredibly dry, clean.
Yeah.
Has that
Yeah.
Saz all in it.
Yep.
Really nice. And I mainly just wanted to watch you all drink more beer. So.
Yeah, more Czech pills. basically.
I'm assuming their recipe is probably, they don't put any of the info on there, do they? We'll have to
No,
holler at
no.
Spencer.
It's
But I would be curious to know if they do anything that's
but
not Saw's hops in there.
Yeah,
Hold
read
on.
the description there.
Hold on. It does say, according to the Surgeon General,
Oh, thank you very
women
much.
should not drink alcoholic beverages
Oh,
during
shit.
pregnancy because of the risk of birth defects.
Mhm.
Consumption of alcoholic beverages.
Now, see, if we'd
impairs-
gotten Rob to read this, it would have been entertaining.
He can't actually.
I think they can actually drink some beer. I don't know how much.
Just
it
read
is,
the
but
first half.
I try
of the
not to
can.
tell
No,
pregnant
just
women what to do with their bodies.
Just
Yeah,
the side.
exactly.
Just read that.
This is Atrium Brewing. You want the fake Russian accent?
I want you to just read this straight down the line.
Eastern European.
Atrium, Czech Pils, Czech Pils, Czech Pils, Czech Pils, motherfucker, Czech Pils, Czech Pils, Pils, Eels.
Shout out to Don. Atrium's can game is always on point.
It is great.
Yeah,
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 that's. I mean,
Very clean, he actually has kind of like this is a not very well timed reference.
So
but
Don
he
being the
has,
marketing
like, a very,
manager.
like, clean, almost Soviet-esque like aesthetic to some of his like beer designs. It's just very like, looks like the German like metro system. Like it's just very crisp. It's very clean. Sometimes it's off the wall. There's a whole other
Very-
direction
very
they'll go
efficient.
to. Sometimes it's just like
I mean,
completely
they
bad
have
shit.
a whole can dedicated to Mark cutting his hair.
Yeah,
with
into a
clippers.
dumpster.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
called dumpster cut.
They go all ways. But when
Yeah.
Don does do those really clean ones, I'm a big fan of
It
them.
is. The aesthetic of it is
Yeah.
beautiful, and the beer is fantastic.
Yeah, it's very good. Good job, guys.
Really glad that they are now, and always kind of been doing some traditional lagers, but it seems like more and more it just keeps getting like drier,
Their Kolsch is great,
crisper,
too.
better. Like,
that Kolsch is good. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but yeah,
No,
it's
it's
awesome.
we like it. We like it a lot.
So what do we like? What is your favorite Atrium beer? Let's give Atrium a plug, guys. We love you. Give us some beer sometime for this. But what's your favorite Atrium beer that they've ever put out?
I like the meatball. We're talking
that
about
Italian
like
Pilsner? That was a good
off-brand
one. Yeah,
Italian Pilsner. I mean, really in line with the Czech Pils
Yeah.
too. It's a different hop. Italian Pilsner is like the rest of the world's bastardization on German Pilsner, except they use alternative hops.
Mhm.
And somehow the Italians claimed it. You probably know a little bit more of that about me, but it's fantastic. They've done it 2 years in a row now for Louisville Beer Week, and it comes out fantastic. I buy a case, I drink it, I buy another case. It's great.
Yeah.
And
This is the beer that I drink the most. Like their Kolsch and then their Czech Pilsner. Those are just, I don't actually like beer that much. I just like beer. I can draw. I like to taste IPAs, and I love tasting different things and seeing what they are and like thinking about how they're made. But when I'm just like want a beer, that I want something just like that. So that like is perfect for me.
I'm with you on the Kolsch. I think the great thing about it is that it's a craft beer that anyone could drink.
Yeah.
If you take your friend or somebody that's not a craft beer person and that maybe they don't want a what did you say, Maibach or
sure.
barley wine or something like that,
Mhm.
but
It's
anybody
a perfect
can.
gateway beer.
Yeah, it's excellent,
Yeah.
excellent.
It's
And
beer flavored beer.
yes,
beer flavored.
Yeah. Or Heinz Gebalt.
Yeah, on my end, I would say, I mean, you already took meatball. That's up there. But it just, as far as like a nearly year-round offering, Coast is their West
Mhm,
Coast
mhm.
IPA.
If we're gonna them plugs too, we should just shout out how good their off the wall beers are. Like when they go crazy.
All right, let's
like,
not give them too big of a head.
Yeah, let's
I
not
mean,
get that too big of a head.
But no, I mean, I used to work with Spencer at the last place, and I mean, I can name it Akasha. I used to work with Spencer at Akasha, and I always really liked what he put out, and to this day at Atrium, like I'll go there and he'll give me a new beer to try, and I always really appreciative of all the different things that he can do.
Yeah.
Him and his team there, like he has, there's Rubo above him, and then he has both Max Myers
Yep.
below him.
Yep.
To be clear, that's one Max Myers and another Max Myers.
Yeah, there are two people named Max Myers that work in the brew box.
the
Yeah,
Maxes,
yeah.
right? That's who the Maxes.
Yeah, they're maxed out.
Okay.
And,
I've not
and
heard that one yet.
yeah, well, and then they do pretty good.
No, they got a good team over there.
yeah.
They're fantastic. And I just getting back to Rob's statement from earlier. I bet if we leaned on them, we could convince them to put this in 40s.
Oh,
Yeah,
that would
then
be,
life would be complete.
that would be great. Did they make a malt liquor, some kind of
They did do,
version
yeah,
of it,
they did
or was
something
it
like
Gravy
that a
did
while
it?
back.
Somebody did that though.
Who?
Somebody made just like a malt, or did it ever come? They were gonna do like a High Life talk off type thing.
Yeah, they're supposed to. They didn't.
Yeah, maybe that's next week. Maybe that's next year's beer week. I can't remember. But somebody did do a malt liquor. I can't remember who it was.
I think it was great.
I think it was for Beer Week. I don't remember who it was.
A craft malt liquor?
I think we're onto something.
I'm pretty sure that happened.
We'll do some research.
Maybe it's like a
collab.
Mandela effect thing, but I'm pretty sure that existed at one point.
I mean, it's basically just a lager, more or less, right? I mean,
we were trying to figure out the distinction.
I mean, if you had to kind of describe it like view from 10,000 feet.
Yeah. It might be unhopped.
It would have to be unhopped like initially, right? And then,
yeah.
What do you get?
This is the content.
How do you make
this is the content you guys come here for.
Yeah. We'll do our research and talk about malt beverages next time.
If I'm being honest, I think it's probably more of a marketing thing than it is an actual, because that's not in the BJCP, I don't believe, like malt liquor. I think it's probably just something somebody put on a can at some point to make people feel like they were getting drunker than they were.
I mean, Founders did a malt liquor.
Oh, I didn't know that.
DKML.
I did not know.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that one.
Affectionately referred to as Dick Kicker malt liquor.
Oh,
awesome! I love it.
We all love Founders, as we all know. So, anyway,
I did like All Day IPA. That was when I would drink a lot, but
not anymore.
I'm not
anymore.
Yeah, not anymore.
Not anymore.
I don't. Again, it's like I'm sure there's. Yeah, it's just not something I want to spend my money on.
So on that note, let's wrap this up. Let's give some plugs. Robb's Beer Talk. That's that. Yeah.
TikTok, Robb's TikTok.
What do you got going on? What are you excited about?
I think I'm just excited about the patio weather coming up.
Me
and
too.
I know that when we moved here, I told you we moved here twice, but the first time we moved here kind of during Derby week, and I was like, this place is awesome. It's great. And that is a great week to be, or a great 3 weeks to be in Louisville.
Unless you live here.
And
Yeah.
no, even if you do, I mean, you can't, well, two things about the Derby. I think if you live here and don't participate in it, you're really missing out. And just, it hurts me personally that kind of the rest of the state is like, F you, Louisville, you're part of Indiana, because they're missing out.
Part of Indiana?
Yeah.
There's like definitely like a.
There is we're
divide.
Different than Louisville.
Are you guys all from here?
Yeah.
So you've never said out in the state. He's from out in the state.
Yeah.
I have friends who say that. I'm like, there are towns out in this. It's not just
they're
like
counties.
a whole area.
Yeah.
There's like 127 counties.
But they don't
120. Just
appreciate
under 120.
Louisville like they should. It's a
Close.
great food town.
Yep.
Good beer town. Great beer town.
We actually just got nominated as one of the best foodie towns when you cut out like the metropolitan, like New York and Chicago.
Sure,
and
yeah.
all that. We were number one.
Nice.
It's a good highlight.
Yeah.
we deserve more respect and love.
But also to don't come here and raise my property taxes. Like whatever, like find a happy medium, you guys.
Yeah. Louisville sucks. Don't come here. Stay away.
David, what do you got?
My plug is probably going to be to Brewgrass Homebrew Supply, who just expanded next door.
Yeah. We're
Congrats.
trying to decide if we're going to use that for a warehouse or a podcast studio.
I think
We might just have to do a coin
I
flip.
think
'Cause I'm conflicted.
you could have 3/4 of that be your warehouse and the other quarter be our podcast studio. And, I would also live there in the closet for a nominal fee. So, but I do have a pet, so I don't know if that's extra.
It's a great little backyard. Well, yeah, there's probably a pet. There's probably a pet fee now that I'm thinking about it.
Sure.
For Mocha, free.
I do also like that 2 local breweries did a hurricane beer, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
So in the spirit of Mardi Gras, both Mile Wide and Gravely, totally unplanned, which is kind of like the whole Gravely and Monic did the Czech Pils, or Dark Czech Pils, all unplanned. Released 2 beers. One's a kettle sour with a bunch of really fun fruits in it. It comes out super nice pink red. And the other comes out the exact same color, but without some of the sweetness in it, and just was nice drinking ale.
Oh, yeah.
Tons of fruit in it. So in the season of Lent, Mardi Gras, pretty fun.
John, what do you got?
I'll shout out Tailspin. That's will have happened by the time you listen to this, I guess, right? Because that's on Saturday. So we hope we see everyone, have seen everyone there. Time is a flat circle.
We're gonna live stream.
Yeah, we'll be. Oh, so well. Again, it's too late.
You will. By
Hopefully
this
see it on
time,
live
you
stream.
will have seen the live stream.
And then we'll
Probably.
also shout out, like, if you have never been to the St. Patrick's Day Parade, like, that's a wild time. Go to Bock Fest. Get out there and just enjoy life again. We did a beer event at Chimera a year ago.
Yesterday.
Well, we also did one a year ago that we arrogantly titled The Return to Normalcy, just because it felt like things were starting to move
The
back to
hubris that we
normal.
had.
Yeah. But maybe we shouldn't even say it. Now it feels like we're actually maybe going to get back to something resembling normal life.
So a collab, Return to Normalcy.
Part 2. Yeah.
Returning.
Re-return.
Return.
Re-return to normalcy. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. And then for me, speaking of Chimera, we were just there last night for our monthly Trail Tuesday. First Tuesday of every month, we try to go to a new brewery here in Louisville, Kentucky, just as an excuse to get together and bring people together. Because why not? But they did do a really cool collab with Shipping Port in the West End there.
I was talking to Millie about that earlier today. She was in here.
Oh, it's fantastic. It's a matrilineal. It's beer to guard. They went to Iroquois Park, part of the Olmsted Park system. They foraged sassafras root, shagbark hickory, cherry bark, I think turkey tail mushrooms, and they just made this really nice beer to guard.
Yeah.
And proceeds benefit Olmsted Parks Conservatory. It's a really
another good Louisville
awesome
shout
thing.
out.
Yeah.
Like our parks, we're so lucky to have those.
Oh, we're
Olmsted
city parks.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Yeah,
they're fantastic.
So that's a really good beer. If you haven't had it yet,
Go to Shipping Port.
Go to Shipping Port or Chimera. Try it. You'll like it. Even if you don't like beer to guards, I
Both
think you'll
have
still
good
like
patios.
it. Yeah, definitely. I mean, they definitely do. So,
and I think I shouted it to her. This is probably stuff we shouldn't talk about on the podcast. But I suggested that we might make a little video segment next time they go out there and forage with them, just to kind of show people, because she was telling me about it. It's fascinating.
Okay,
She's just like a truffle hunter. They just go out there in the woods and they like kick the leaves.
So just real fast then,
like a beagle?
Chimera,
Yeah.
Chimera going out and doing all like what Sean does there at Chimera. If you like scratch brewing out of Illinois,
go.
you will like Chimera because it's kind of the same idea of
That's
like
a really good
we'll take what we
allegory.
need to get.
It is.
Like there's no place to there's no land necessarily. It's in the middle of the Highlands next to Barrett Avenue. It's like you can't set a tent up or anything. But they do their damnedest to go out and get natural ingredients however they can.
Yeah.
And they do these wild beers with he does a lot of historical styles too. But then you drink their pale ale. I had the Scruffy Outlier there. Amazing. And he said they did that with hops that
he grew in his house.
In their backyard. They
yeah.
wet hopped it, which you don't see that often. Their Pilsner, fantastic. Like their hazy IPA, I think they said it's like one of their best selling ones. It's great. So shout out Chimera. Yeah, they're good partners and we love them.
All right. So on that note, we will see you all next week. Happy Tailspin weekend.
Yeah.
Happy March Madness soon.
Yeah.
And we'll have some fun with that.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thank you, Rob.
Hey, Rob.
Thank you for being in the world.